Hello, rail friends. It is a Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we are live at historic Bootlegger's Crossing. In front of you, the Atlanta North District track and the Knoxville West End tracks, both for Norfolk Southern. We currently are on the Chattanooga side here at Bootlegger's Crossing, where just to your left, Ooltewah is right on the other side of Little Debbie's Parkway. A yellow butterfly going through. That was the 227 milepost that you just saw. Double tracked here, because right after this signal post indication, it goes double track. Couple automatic controlled switches, and the segment right beyond the control tower or signal tower. And then right on the other side of those trees is Little Debbie Parkway. And right after that, the famous Y, where the Atlanta North District track swings to the right and goes south, and the Knoxville West End track swings to the left and goes up to McDonald, then on through Cleveland, making its way on up to Knoxville and beyond. So, it's a picture perfect day. Our leaves have not started to change yet. You can hear the birds. Not sure how much traffic we're going to have, but rail fanning is just like buying Cracker Jacks. You never know what the surprise is. You never know how far down in the box it is. And you never know what you're going to get. That is a private crossing that you see right there. That road used to go through until they did Little Debbie Parkway. And then that was the end of that public road. There's the big curve to the left. Well, hello, Tony. There's the big curve to the left as you're looking westward at this point. And generally, when we get a train coming at us, they just come right around that corner, and all of a sudden they're just there. There are no crossings close going that way, so there is no horn activity. And with the bend of the curve, it kind of just protects the sound, and then you have a train. And it all happens just that quick. There is a mile or a defect detector at the milepost 230.2. So we will have notification if we hear it today. We will have notification of eastbound traffic as it crosses over the 230. Point 2 defect detector making its way eastward. Here to famous Bootlegger's Crossing. And Tony, you want to tell everybody about what happens on 2 weeks from today? And what Tony's talking about, 2 weeks from today, the exciting get-together for rail fans in Cowan, Tennessee. Also, Brian's got scheduled a photo op and all kinds of cool things for Rail Fan Day. We got lots of activity and excitement to share. Cowan, Tennessee. Oh, from Chattanooga is about an hour. And off of Interstate 24, 20 minutes or so south. And they have a beautiful facility, depot, a privately owned depot, so come on by. If you've never visited, perfect opportunity to do so. Great group of folks. And it'll be fun for all. As you can see, we're all excited, including Tony, about Rail Fan Days in Cowan. Like I said, 2 weeks from today, and about that time, the leaves should just beginning to change a little bit for us, although since that area does have mountains, they'll probably be a little bit ahead of us. Today we're having an almost 90-degree day here As you saw a little bit ago, the canopy's up, so you're underneath the huge umbrella to keep that radiant heat off of the camera. Here at historic Bootlegger's Crossing, where if you look at many of the different railfan sites reviews, this is just an historic place that people for generations have come to visit. And I spent some time trying to find some research about our location. So let me see if I can pull that up for us. Give me a moment to find it on this cluttered phone, of which there's just all kinds of stuff that I've got saved. And now I'm going to tell you about the historic findings that I've found about this location. So y'all just sit tight for a moment while I find that on here. You know, when you want to find something, you just can't. But I know it's on here, so don't go anywhere, because we are going to hear it. Okay, I got it. And this is what, in going through everything and searching different information, and since we're kind of sitting here right on the very edge, and if I get in front of the camera, I'm going straight down that hill. So we're going to kind of do it from up here as you watch the track, and we watch for our next train here at the 227 Bootlegger's Crossing. This is the best information that I have been able to find. That research on the net has come up with that Bootlegger's Crossing is a railfan location situated near the border of Chattanooga and Ooltewah, Tennessee. And as you know, Ooltewah is the home to Little Debbie's, which is just to your left a few miles. And the name itself is a historical lore about the history that's tied to back to the Prohibition era. And there are no official markers here. There's no state, city, county markers documenting that this location is the specific spot, although rail service did go through back then, right here. And that the nickname given to this site, called Bootlegger's Crossing, is probably derived from the area's association with illegal alcohol transportation during the early 20th century, particularly during that time period of the Prohibition of 1920 to 1933. Just think, 13 years. You couldn't legally go down and get some Jack Daniels. But anyhow, during that time period, obviously bootlegging, which is known as the illegal production and transportation and sale of alcohol, which was common for the Appalachian regions to make it and then ship it out, run it from point to point. If you all remember Buford Pusser and Walking Tall, busting the stills there in Tennessee. But there was a tradition of making moonshine here in the area, and the railroads back then served as part of the means in which they transported. So, since the railroads were at this point, the bootleggers would meet in remote areas, which really was not trafficked at night and what have you, such as the outskirts of Chattanooga and Ooltewah, where we are, giving the bootleggers the opportunity to be undercover or unnoticed or just away from everybody and everything. And this crossing, from what's been handed down, like I said, there's nothing official on any books anywhere, but it's believed that this location kind of became the opportune spot to move their goods discreetly here in this area where the trains cross through. and they traded and moved their goods under the cover of night to avoid law enforcement. And since then, and like I said, just about any train publication that you open, or if you Google Bootlegger's Crossing or spots to watch for train rail fanning, will bring you to this geographical area as a very popular spot where people both photograph and, just like we are right now, live here at the crossing over the years. So the name goes back in time to just remember or remind you of a colorful past in which our local history played a part. And it has a very unique geographical connection here, as the rail system does in Chattanooga, as you all know. And this just made it, even today, if you think back or look, there is nothing here. Just think back to that time period. This is probably just a remote section for the railroad and people and population, and this is where they kind of collected. And if you go up the track, follow the Knoxville West End, not far from here, up by Ooltewah and where you go into Collegedale, up in that area, Dead Man's Curve, still known to this day. There's a grade and a steep curve that the railroad nicknamed Dead Man's Curve. Is not far from us either. So, very historical, very unique, one of a kind. And like I said, embellish the name to the activity, to the past, and then you have it right here in Ooltewah, Ooltewah, Tennessee. A story from the past. As you can see, it's just trees, tracks, a wide spot here, and the signal crossings, or actually the signal board indication point. And from here it's tough to see because they are angled for the trains coming around that curve to see. So in order for us to take a look, we literally got to go down and walk down their trackside. And down this hill probably isn't going to happen unless you want to watch Mike roll. So for the moment, we're just going to kind of look, listen, watch here at the 227. Like I said, if you hear the defect detector at the 230.2, you know we've got one headed our way, 3 miles up the track from us. And for those NS trains coming up from Dalton and from Rome and Atlanta on the Atlanta North District, kind of through those trees and beyond is the Whistle Stop restaurant. And there's several crossings. Oh, probably a mile. The last one's probably a mile from where we are. So if we get a northbound coming up from Atlanta on the Atlanta North District, we'll hear that whistle. And then the other line comes down from Knoxville. So it could be a very popular spot, as you've seen in some of the videos that we've done here, some of the lives that we've done here, Moving the Way to the World, 4822, a number of different ones that we've caught here. And it's not unusual to have a 2-3 train meetup as something coming from the north, because like I said, once it goes past this point and gets to the Y that's 5, 6, 7 blocks up, both lines go single track. So if something's coming down and going to be heading west at this point, whatever stops here, waits for them, diverge them from one track to the other, clear up a path, and then let them roll south or let them roll north. So let's kind of sit back, relax. Like I said, as y'all saw, Tony is talking about Cowan Railfan Days coming up 2 weeks from today, October 19th of 2024. We're all going to go hang out up with Tony and Cowan. And until then, and like I said, Brian's got a special photo shoot that evening arranged. I got to confirm if it's Saturday evening or Friday evening yet. And I'll send him a note while we're talking. But in the meantime, sit back, relax. Let's listen for our next train and see what comes our way. And enjoy our peaceful location. Y'all chat. Anybody out that's north or south, east, west of us? Anybody's trackside? Shout out where you are. Have fun with this. And if you see locomotives go by, feel free to shout out the power models. Anything that you know about those locomotives. As we hang out at Bootlegger's Crossing. Y'all keep a sharp eye out, because you never know when you're going to see a deer or other wildlife here. We'll swing around the area in a little bit, or after a while. We're next to a very, very old cemetery, both old and new. So, and as you can see, we're in a wooded, hilly area. So lots of wildlife here, and as you can see, all the mountains and trees there beyond the signal point structure, while we wait for our next Norfolk Southern train. Been watching Heritage app. Haven't seen anything exciting scheduled our way that anybody's seen, but as you all know, you never know when something's going to pop in. So, let's sit back, relax, and hang out. And a pair of butterflies sitting on the tripod. Sitting on the tripod. Sitting on the tripod. do not get excited. That was the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum train returning to Grand Junction. That train sound was not here for us. As the Missionary Ridge local pulls back into Grand Junction. It surprisingly has been kind of a quiet day. I just got confirmation from Brian on our Cowan Railfan Days, or Cowan Railfan Day, Saturday, 2 weeks from today, October 19th of 2024. Since these do become the lives turned into videos on the site, don't want you to watch this in 3 weeks and then find out. All right, y'all, mark your timers at 4:37. A northbound NS with 4 locomotives has just made his way through Dalton, coming north, and generally it's a 1-hour wait. Looks like he's a mixed freight. Got some grain cars, box cars, with those 4 locomotives. So we'll see how true our time runs. By 5:38, he should be here with us. Looks like he's got quite a few grain cars on. I don't have anything watching currently the Knoxville West line, so we could get something at any moment from them. But back to once the videos process from the lives, you can watch them into the future. So for those of you that watch this after October 19th of 2024, you'll know not to head to Cowan for Railfan Day, but do head to Cowan to visit everybody. But we are going to have Brian's arranged for a famous photographer to be there, and they're going to do a night setup with the static displays that they have for a photo shoot. So that'll be lots of fun. Y'all get your cameras ready, video recorders and what have you. And I know there's going to be lots and lots of you there, so you get to meet a lot of the folks that you chat with on the channel that you don't ever get to actually see one-on-one. They're in Cowan. Also, another little tidbit about this location. Just past the signal light boards there, when you get to Ooltewah, that used to be James, James County. And for those of you that have eaten at the Whistle Stop restaurant, Barney's old police car, the Barney of James County, his old police car is 6 over at Whistle Stop. And so many people over time have asked, what's a James County old police car? What's the significance? Well, what it is that area just on the other side of Little Debbie Parkway used to be James County. But James County went bankrupt, and Hamilton County saw the opportunity to expand, take it over, annexed it, and moved the services of Hamilton County and all the different things that go with being in the county, including your county property tax. And it became part of Hamilton County. And James County is now just a memory. So, if y'all visit this area, Whistle Stop's pretty cool. There's every restaurant that you can imagine that you might want here in Ooltewah. However, Whistle Stop is a 3-story facility with a rooftop of one of those 3. And you can literally flip a quarter from the restaurant to the tracks. Hello, Rail Fanning Jay. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We just decided we'd get rid of a little bit of cabin fever and head on up to historic Bootlegger's Crossing, where we're at roughly 90 degrees, full sun. Can't even find a cloud anywhere close until you go way over on the other side of those mountains today. So we're under the umbrella. Hope we don't run into a heat problem. But now we just got to work on our next train. And as we were talking, there is a northbounder coming up through Dalton. There's not much of anything in front of him, so he is a 4 locomotive on the head end train, mixed freight. He's got everything from grain cars to box cars, tankers, coil cars. I'm watching a little bit of everything. So, y'all set your clocks. Let's see how true they run to arriving at 5:38 right here, Eastern Standard Time. There goes some refrigerator cars. So, hey, we'll have some great artwork on those. Anybody trackside on either side of us? Is anybody down at Long, which is Howardsville Road? Anybody on? Just shout out where you are and let us know if you see something headed our way. Like I said, I did check the Heritage app. There's some stuff coming tomorrow, and there's some stuff over on the Ooltewah sub. But at this particular moment, it's not telling us we got anything. But as you know, you never know when you're going to get something. So sit back, relax. Like I said, look for a deer. You just never know what you're going to see here as we enjoy the peacefulness of this Saturday afternoon, trackside here on Rail Moments. Since we're not far from Interstate 75, it's hard to tell some of those sounds. What normally sounds like a train can be one of the semis making the grade. Interstate 75 from us is probably about a quarter mile or so, so you hear the traffic on 75, so it can kind of confuse you to just what you are listening to. So, Jay just got him a catch there in Memphis. They just put a war bonnet. Still has Santa Fe on the side of it. And it's in Memphis, and they just put it on the hump yard. It was paired with a B&N Executive Mac, but then the Mac was replaced with an H2 Mac. So, like I said, you never know what you're going to see where. And since so many of you are all over the place, many times we find out about something coming long before we even know it. That's pretty cool, Jay. Hope you got some great shots or great video, whichever you do. Hope maybe you can make the trek over to Cowan in 2 weeks from today and hang out with everybody where the pushers are based for Railfan Day and camaraderie and fun with other rail fans. Jay, don't you just hate it when some of the stuff that you want to catch is not a good spot? Or like those nights when you chase something and you waited and 15 minutes after the sunset, something you waited for forever finally pops in. Or usually something takes 30 minutes to get there and 3 hours later you're still waiting for it. Once you know you're there ahead of it. Well, I'm glad you were able to at least get it. That does beat missing it. Hate that we won't be able to get you to come hang out. Hopefully the next one in Decatur that they do, we can see you there. Even the scanner's quiet tonight. Jay, where we are both tracks are NS tracks right here. The far side is the Atlanta North District line coming in, and the closest track, if you stay on them and didn't diverge at either side, the one closest to us is the Knoxville West End. I saw earlier today, it hasn't been all that long ago, I think it was 6 Canadian national units leading a train was coming north from Birmingham. So that'd be headed up to Decatur. Let's see if that's still up. Also, the family lines, CSXT 1972 is sitting over in the yard at Ooltewah, or last reported there a few hours ago, sitting next to the office. Family lines heritage locomotive for CSX, CSXT 1972. So for those of you that are up in that area, swing over there and take a look. Right there behind the auto park store is a great place. There's a huge hill there, nothing blocks your view to get pictures. Let's see, 4 hours ago, train 101 was coming down Knoxville West End. NS 4003 leading that train. That horn you hear is not ours. That's down in Dalton on a southbound. Coal train going south through Dalton. But NS 4003 was on a leading train 101 to Memphis, headed to the Sergeant Yards UP. See if it gives any more details. Just says Knoxville, doesn't give us any particulars. I was trying to watch the Sweetwater cam earlier, but it's been down most of the day. And you're right, Jay. He was in Knoxville working the yard at 11:50 this morning. So I'm assuming by now they've probably got him rolling south. That's about all I can tell you, Jay. NS 4003. He's going to be leading train 101 and no other updates. Let's see what else is on the radar here. Our F&P nose was sitting up in Knoxville. The P and LE went south from Atlanta. Ah, here it is. All right. CN 3115 BC Rail. 6 Canadian National locomotives, all on the head end of a 200 plus car train, headed to Chicago, went through Birmingham 3 hours ago. And it looks like on the point is CN 3365. So 6 Canadian National locomotives, all up front, going north, went through Birmingham 3 hours ago. So, those of you over at Decatur, if you haven't seen it already, you will. Those train wheels that you might hear are down in Dalton, so don't get excited. Nothing's coming around the corner. As we listen for a northbound whistle coming up from Atlanta, a southbound whistle coming down from Knoxville, and anything coming east from Chattanooga, from the DeBuck's Yard, which is the second largest classification yard of its type in the NS system, right here in Chattanooga. The stink bugs are out today. Can't tell if I have more butterflies or stink bugs today. Jay, did you by chance get to see him go south? We are going to hang out till 6 o'clock today. Mrs. S is doing karate, and I promised her dinner out today. Plus Harley the dog ran out of treats, so she's protesting at the house. Normally we get ours from Chewy, but I didn't realize we were out. So I went by Tractor Supply on the way here, and I was lucky enough they had 2 bags of baked Science Diets softies. So now I'll be allowed to go home. Oh, we just got notification about the Illinois terminal. NS 1072 just spotted in Irondale, Alabama, going north to Brunswick, Missouri, leading a grain train. Don't suppose he wants to make a slight right turn and come see us. Probably not, but wishful thinking. For those of you who have been watching the Chickamauga Dam series with us this week, We went by last night because I was thinking about going there this morning, but the 6 free-flowing, open at lake level, wide open spillways were all toned down, so the water flow was not as dramatic as it's been all week. There at the C&O and TP South Sub, where Tenbridge is. Well, let's see. I just saw all your enthusiasm there, Jay. What's that say? There is an original painted BC rail coming my way. Well, you better be sending us pictures. Is that the same train that we were talking about just a moment ago that came up through Birmingham? I guess he'd hicks Decatur and then hicks the Memphis subline on up to you, doesn't he? Oh, so where will he go to get your way, Jay? And right now going through Dalton is a second northbound NS Autorack train at 5:06. And he too has 4 locomotives on his head end. For some reason I was thinking about Missouri. You're right, it won't go through you. Someplace along the line I was reading something that was talking about Missouri. But hey, I've got a good tip. We have a eastbound container train about 12 minutes out if he doesn't make any stops. So if our timing's right, 5:07 and add the 12, 5:19. We should see our container train coming eastbound. Tony just had a southbound go through Cowan. Locomotive 5400 leading. Tony, what type of train did you have? And Jay, what's the locomotive number on the pictures you just posted? I'm only on a 150 radius, so it doesn't post that unless it's coming to me. So I'm going to take a lookster as soon as you tell me the locomotive number to look up. Tony's got a mixed train coming on CSX. CN 100. CN 3219, the 100th anniversary Canadian National Special Interest Locomotive. It's an ET 44AC. And that oh, that's got some great colors on it. Love the pick. Rail Fanning J took that picture in Lake Cormorant, Mississippi. Cormorant, one or the other. Not sure which there, Jay. Hope I don't butcher it too bad, but I can get the Mississippi part right. And y'all, we do have eastbound action headed our way. If they don't hold him for anything, he is 5 minutes out. So, like I said, we are at the 90-degree kind of thing today. We do have the camera protected by the umbrella here. But right there on that corner should be our next train. And if everything is right and they don't hold him for anything, he is 5 minutes out. Let's hear if we hear him on the 230.2 defect detector. I'm going to go quiet for a little bit so we can hear him. But like I said, a lot of times you literally don't hear them till they're around that corner. And our northbound, an hour ago, is getting close to being 1 hour out. So, we could have all kinds of things happen here in a moment. Y'all check out CN 3219, the 100th anniversary edition. Heritage locomotive or special interest locomotive for Canadian National with Rail Fanning Jay's picture right there, colorful as you can be on the app. Meanwhile, right here, we have a train on approach to us coming from west of us, going east, where he will appear coming around that corner. And we also have two coming north on the Atlanta North District line. Sometimes I have to practice to get it right, but I get there, Jay. Hello, Dylan. How are you? Thanks for hopping on. We've got two northbound coming up on the Atlanta North District line. We've got 4003 leading train 101 coming south from Knoxville. He will go past this point on his journey. And we've got intermodal making his way to us. Due here probably 2 to 3 more minutes. And chances are pretty good, real good, that he'll be going down the Atlanta North District. So chances are real good they will hold him here and let the two northbounds possibly run up, or they'll hold the northbounds out at Long Hendersonville Road and let this southbound get out of the way and then bring the other two up. So let's kind of see how this plans out. As so many of you know from being here with me, this is a very unique strategy point for everything. And today is not going to be any exception. So, Let's all listen, see who hears what first. Hey, for those of you that use the Heritage Unit app, check out BNSF 622, where you are going to see Rail Fanning Jay's photography skills, where he shot from a bridge a war bonnet coming right at him. So y'all check out that picture. Go to the Heritage Unit app, pull up, use the locomotive search, and pull up 622, BNSF 622, and there you will see Rail Fanning Jay's camera work from atop that bridge there in Memphis, Tennessee, with the BNSF 622 war bonnet leading that train into Memphis. So, y'all do that, and at any moment, unless for some reason they held him before here, we will see our intermodal train coming around that corner due right now. Dylan, I hope you're having a fantastic day. We are here. Where we are taking a look and awaiting our eastbound intermodal. Should be rounding that curve. And coming from the left will be our two from Dalton, and also from the left, our main MANE locomotive. So, could be fun here the next hour. And then it'll be time to take Mrs. S to dinner. And just what we suspected. Creeping into sight is our train, and it looks just like what we were talking as one of the scenarios. They are going to hold that intermodal while our northbounds run on up. So, there he sits, as you see. peeking just around the curve. Dylan, my world's so fantastic, I'm not even sure I can stand it. Life is good, work is good, wife is good, dog's good. You guys have all been hanging out. Everything has just been fantastic. Y'all can just see barely through the tree there where our eastbound intermodal has come to. He's still inching, but when I say inching, he's barely inching. And he is probably going to go south. So he does have 2 northbounders coming up. So we'll see how long they hold him. We'll listen for our other 2. And like I said, he is still inching towards us. He has not come to a stop yet. If any of you are down at Howardsville Road, okay, he has come to a stop and he has turned his parking light on. So he is officially anchored right there while he waits for, I'm assuming, our northbound trains, which there are 2 coming up the Atlanta North, and he's probably going down the Atlanta North. So, this is one of the many reasons Bootlegger's Crossing is such a great and popular place to rail fan. The amount of activity, although today's been a little quiet, but it only takes a moment to change all that. And the unique work that the dispatchers have to do to get everybody crisscrossed and onto the right tracks, because both of them go single track past this point on up to Knoxville or on down to Atlanta. So they have to work it all out right here. So you are looking west, and he is facing east, where you can just see his park light on. He's on Main 1. And as you heard, on our westbound train, he called track 1. So main 1 is the track furthest away from us. As you can see, there are 2 milepost signs there, the 227. So closest to us is track 2. Furthest away, obviously, is track 1. And sitting right there, hiding behind that tree on track number 2, is BNSF locomotive 3884. So BNSF 3884, our intermodal, is sitting right there waiting. Still has his park light on. We do know that our train that just went past had another northbound behind him. So the probable assumption is our intermodal is going to go south, and they're going to run the 2 northbounds past here before they cut him loose and diverge him over to track 1. Now, there's more than one scenario here, but right now that seems to be the most logical of the options. And we said on our 4 locomotive train, who gave you guys a great horn salute. If you all heard that train salute you guys got, those 4 locomotives, we figured they would be here at 5:38 p.m. from Dalton, and they arrived at 5:31. So 53 minutes from Dalton to us today was his time period. And right behind this intermodal that you see is another eastbound train that's holding. He's holding back about 10 miles from here, if that, maybe 8 miles. So behind our eastbounder is another eastbound, and we're still looking for our MANE locomotive coming down from Knoxville. We'll be watching for 1071 tomorrow, as Dylan said. All right, Tony, have a great evening. We'll talk to you between now and then. And here comes our BNSF sneaking up on us, very slowly creeping right at us. He's not turned his lights back on yet, but he is creeping forward. And that makes him official. Right there, they are diverging him from track 2 to track 1. So he is headed south on the Atlanta North. If you can see it right there, he's going diverging from track 2 to track 1. And there he crossed from track 2 to track 1, right there at that diverge point, just past the cylinder, the natural gas cylinder. Here at famous, historic Bootlegger's Crossing. Now, playing out, we're still looking for 4003 coming down from Knoxville. And we have a northbound that's probably holding at Howardsville Road. So if any of you are at Howardsville right now, let us know. But 10 to 12 minutes from this point, he will pass Howardsville Road, and that will release our other northbound. And then holding about 10 to 12 minutes west of us is another eastbound. So we have 3 potential trains yet that we can see before we wrap up this afternoon's trackside at Bootlegger's Crossing. Historical, mythical, and geographically marked in the history books, but no official marker that says once upon a time the bootleggers ran out of here, used the train to move their product, and our other 4 locomotive train just passed the TVRM cam 12 miles west of here, give or take. That horn you hear is on another cam. That is not us. That is a CSX train headed to the bird cam, as most of you have nicknamed it. Bird cam should see that northbound coal train in about 1 hour. And for those of you that haven't been on the bird cam today, which is our live cam there in Audubon Acres, and for those of you who have not been on it before, it does reset twice a day at 12 and 12, and it is in the middle of this massive bird sanctuary. So at night, there are no lights, so you only see the train light or the EOT device when a train goes through there, but you do hear it. Now, Ray last night made some modifications where you can hear CSX, NS, and all kinds of different things while watching. And when you hear him talk about the 230.2 scanner, defect detector, or the 25.0, those are all lines close by to where the bird cam is. And he's got a ledger there that tells you whom is speaking, and it lights up next to the frequency number and who that is. So when you hear someone talking, it tells you who it is. You'll see the blue symbol board come on there by the ledger. So if you haven't checked it out, take a moment to do so. And like I said, you'll be listening to both NS and CSX, and not just dispatch, but you'll be listening to the yard, the MOW, a little bit of everything. And it's all laid out so you can see exactly who and what. So, still holding to the west of us is an eastbounder, still coming up. Sorry, we had a big old bug there. I had to knock him off. Still coming north, probably sitting about 10 minutes from here, waiting on our last train to go past him, is NS northbound. And somewhere making their way to us is 4003, NS 4003, special interest locomotive for NS. And it's the main, one of the MANE locomotives. So, bird cam folks, you have a coal train an hour out. And those of you here with me, we have a potential for 3 more trains before we wrap this up to take Mrs. S to dinner. friends. I hope you're having fun, enjoying the action here. High atop the overlook at Bootlegger's Crossing, just outside of Ooltewah, Tennessee, just past those bushes behind me, almost at the end of this road. We're on Cemetery Road, for those of you that are familiar with the area. And across from us is the Ooltewah Cemetery. We're set up here in Production Unit 6. We've got the ambers going. We're probably a 90-degree day today. So you're underneath the canopy in order to keep that radiant heat off of the recording devices. And as we talk so many times, when you hang out at the crossings to rail fan, wear clothing that everyone can see so you don't get run over. Protect that head. That sun is hard on us. And don't forget your sunscreen. So, we're here in Hamilton County, Chattanooga, Ooltewah, Bootlegger's Crossing, Norfolk Southern, 1 Main, 2 Main this side. Diversion points right past us where we just saw a little earlier on one of our trains. And we have a 3-train possibility. We're looking for 4003 coming at us from Knoxville. We know we have our northbound that came up or is coming up from Dalton, awaiting that southbounder that we set in that intermodal. And we do have one holding behind us. So I'm going to take this call and I'll get right back. Hey everybody, it's Mrs. S, so y'all just hang on a minute. Hi Mrs. S. How are you? All right, everybody. I'm sorry I left you on the road there. Like I said, you never know when we're going to see deer here or other creatures of the wild, because all around us is mountains and woods. And we were talking about we're on Cemetery Road here before the phone rang. That road dead ends right down there. Little Debbie Parkway is right. If you forget to stop, you're going to go up over that mound of dirt, and you will officially be sitting on Little Debbie Parkway. Just like that guy did in our video. Went over the cliff at Coffey's Cliff. Here's the cemetery that we were talking about. And like I said, you see deer and wild turkey here all the time. You can see the combination of old and new. And this is a very, very large cemetery. There's one of the stands we just moved a monitor off of. There's Production Unit 6 flashing there in the background. Somebody's noisy car. And we're all set up to work out of the back of Unit 6. Got the Wi-Fi on. There's the pole holding up the cover. And there is looking westbound here on the NS line, where we do have a train holding to come our way down by TVRM. And we know we have a northbound coming from Dalton that had to wait on our intermodal. And coming from Knoxville is 4003. So that's kind of how we stand. Where we stand, we're going to pack a little bit. Mrs. S was calling to remind me I promised dinner. I know many of you are watching your favorite games today, your favorite teams. I hope whatever college team you're rooting for today has the winning score. I know we won't be hearing from Chuck until the Georgia game's over. Last week it took him a whole day before he'd talk again. So, y'all listen. We will hear our northbound coming up from Atlanta on the Atlanta North District, because he will blow going past Whistle Stop. We should hear the defect detector for the Knoxville West End if our southbound comes from up there with 4003. So we're gonna just kind of hang out. Won't be too long though. I promise we meet Mrs. S for dinner. So we are kind of packing up. So when she says go, we're gone. But on approach, listen careful. Yep, I do believe we have a train chugging along, coming right at us. Yes, he just called Ooltewah. And it sounds like he's chugging from a stop, so he's probably pouring the diesel to it. We might see some smoke rolling out of those locomotives on the front. Let's see what we get. For those of you over on Coffee's Cliff, if I remember right, he's going west, but for those of you at Jersey Pike, Hickory Valley, here he comes. Let's call Seth real quick in case he doesn't know. Well, everybody, how cool was that? We were concerned if he was going to make it, and he did. 4003 DC to AC conversion black unit. Passing us, train NS 101, headed to Memphis, going to Sergeant Yards, the UP facility. Leading that train just past the 227 milepost. So for those of you who just jumped on, wind her back a few minutes. 4003 was sitting at the Y waiting for authorization to proceed. So we got to watch him roll slow and roll hard as he fired up those two lead locomotives, as you saw. Black smoke plummeting out of the exhaust on top. So how cool was that, you guys, right here on Rail Moments? 4003 headed west. So since he's going to Memphis, if you're at Coffee's Cliff, Jersey Pike, up at Brown, Sitico, all those spots, get ready, he's headed your way. In the meantime, we have an eastbound, passing an eastbound, 12 minutes out from us. So we're gonna get ready to go, but we're awaiting Mrs. S to give us the call that we got 15 minutes. And we're meeting for dinner, so let's see what we can squeeze in maybe before we bring this afternoon's live to an end. Well, Jay, I've done my part. I've sent him your way. So we have an eastbound coming at us that we know, 10 to 12 minutes out, and we still have our northbound from Dalton that's had more than ample time to get here. So we got train action from every direction. It's just a matter of who's next. In the meantime, we are packing because we did promise Mrs. S dinner. Tomorrow morning, if all goes well, and morning is the key word in that sentence, we will try and do sunrise right here at Bootlegger's Crossing in the morning for the first 2 hours. 7 to 9, 7:20 to 9:20, something like that. That only means Mr. Rail Momix here has to get up. That becomes the question mark. For those of you that know me, mornings are not one of my top 10 times of the day. Yes, Jay would make the assumption that they do build a train. And by the time you see him, hopefully he's still on the front, but he'll be longer. So we're going to continue to pack. That sun is sitting west, and there, y'all, is Mrs. S. Hey. 7 to 10 minutes. I say 10 minutes because he's already passed TVRM. And TVRM to here is 12 minutes. Right, but how many of you are there? And we're going to take a moment to get you a place too. So just keep me posted. Let me know when you're there and let me know when you're seated. Love you. Bye. Hey everybody, Mrs. S said tell y'all hi. She's headed to dinner where we'll be meeting her shortly, but for the moment, we're gonna hang out here for a second and see if we can't catch that last eastbound headed its way right here to us. So, we're hanging out for just a little bit more. Everybody, thanks for being with Casey and I here on Rail Moments. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed seeing 4003 leading that train from a dead stop as they gave him authorization to proceed westward on his way through the debunk's yard and all the way to Memphis. So 4003 making his way there. You and I hanging out here for a little bit more. They're talking to 101 right there.
1 signal location east side.
Giving him signal indication. We're waiting on our eastbound that we saw. Should be here in the next few minutes, as long as he didn't have to stop or anything. We do know that there's a northbound on the Atlanta North District that can't be far from here. So we might get to see him, but we will be winding down here in a moment. We're going to go ahead and start putting everything up. Like I said, the plan is to be back here between 7 and 7:15 tomorrow morning for sunrise at historic, geographically located right here, unofficially, no markers as we talked earlier, Bootlegger's Crossing, where back during the days of Prohibition, they used the train to help them, and they all scattered in and out of here, hidden from law enforcement, to run that illegal liquor. So, we're going to go ahead and pull, like I said, get ready to pack. As soon as I know Mrs. S is at the restaurant, which isn't far from here, we're going to take off. But hopefully before we close, we are going to get one more train to conclude tonight's live. So, from Casey and I, don't go, but from Casey and I, thanks for being with us on Real Moments tonight. May your favorite football college team win today. And let's get ready. I'm going to go ahead and take the canopy down so that you got a better view of the turn, and we're going to move just slightly. So here we go. You're going to have a small tremor while I move you. We got horn signal, or we got horn indication from some direction. Sounds like it's this way. Let's get you situated and ready. Get everything situated. There he is. Here comes. right, everyone. We are packed, situated, and production 6 all packed up. The sun setting to the west around the curve. Milepost 227 right there on the 2 markers. NS signal indication Borgs, 4 of them. And right down there at the end of that cul-de-sac is where you're going to find Ooltewah. And right here is where you're going to find me talking to y'all. So Jay, Tony, everybody, Dylan, all you guys, thanks for being with us. Seth, I hope you managed to catch 4003 down there at Jersey Pike. As you just saw, the Wasp took a look at you right there through the lens. So, we're packed, we're done. We'll be back in the morning. So, if all goes right, get your coffee ready. No later than 7:20. Again, if all goes right, 7:20 tomorrow morning, Bootlegger's Crossing is where we'll start off with coffee trackside here on Rail Moments. So, y'all have a good night, and again, may your favorite college team win on this Saturday, and I will see all of you back tomorrow. And if you haven't already, check out the bird cam on our live at the 122.8, where we made some enhancements last night, and you can now hear multiple rail lines, multiple departments, and as they speak, it lights up which one is transmitting, so you know exactly what you're listening to. So check it out. Let me know tomorrow what you think. Talk to you maybe there later tonight. Y'all have a good night. From Casey and I, thank you. Be safe. Be careful. And we appreciate each and every one of you for being with us here on Rail Moments. Don't forget, Ooltewah, don't forget Cowan on the 19th of October, Rail Fan Day, October 19th, 2024, with a photo session that night there at the facility. So, back to the track as the sun sets. I put the last couple things in, and we will bring tonight's live to a close.